Howdy there, once again YouTube, I am back once again. Been putting out a good amount of videos lately because there's been a lot of interesting stuff going on in the world around us recently. My name is Ferraiuolo, and I am a beginner amateur seismologist who wants to eventually become a professional seismologist. Please like, share, subscribe, and visit my website, https://monitorsize.weebly.com. Also, please check out my most recent video I just uploaded earlier today about Mount Veniaminoff, sorry, that name is very hard to say, in Alaska. It is a huge caldera volcano, however nothing close to Yellowstone or Long Valley, that has been seeing long-period low-frequency harmonic tremor at virtually a constant rate for over a month now. And that is not my own take on this. Even Alaska Volcano Observatory notes the continuous tremor in their volcano updates. In that video, I analyzed the seismic data and some other stuff, and at the end of that video, I added 2 audio files so you can hear what harmonic tremor sounds like. So go check that out now if you would like. So today I want to talk about another increase in seismicity at Yellowstone and also at Long Valley supervolcano. Long Valley supervolcanic caldera, which resides right next to Yosemite National Park in California, is a supervolcano that just witnessed a rapid-fire drumbeat earthquake swarm. It was extremely short, which is a good sign, but nevertheless, let's check it out. Real quick, please refer back to this part of the video if you wish to see the location of each seismic station I am about to use for Long Valley caldera. MCV, MCO, MDR, MLH, MCS, MEM, and MDY. Here are their locations. So, let's start. Here we are in the seismic program waves. Here's that event that I was talking about. Look at that rhythm. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So about 10 earthquakes, it seems, from about 2119 to about 2925 or so. So I added most of the stations to seismic program waves, as you can see, MCO, MCS, MCV, MCY, MDR, and MEM. Now again, notice the peculiar rhythm to this. Well, let's pick a random one real quick. As we zoom in, it looks like these events occurred closest to, I'm gonna say it occurred closest to MCS. Though the exact location of these events are currently unknown because I do not have every seismic station here. I have most of them, some of them, but I do not have every single station listed here. So it could have occurred closer to another station, but out of these, it occurred closest to MCS. So I'm thinking this occurred possibly right in the center of the caldera, I'm thinking. So let's zoom back out real quick. Look at these. They're very peculiar. Look at just how they are. Just the characteristics are very odd. I don't think I've ever seen an earthquake like this before. They're just very weird. But they show on multiple surrounding seismic stations, which is, again, I have to repeat myself like 10 times. This is very odd. To me, they almost look like lightning strikes, but that shouldn't be happening. And even if they were lightning strikes, it should not show on multiple seismic stations at all. And these definitely do look like earthquakes, so why don't we go take a look at them in seismic program Swarm. So here we are in the seismic program called Swarm, made by the Alaska Volcano Observatory. First, we will look at seismic station MLH, and all of these are short period stations, by the way. Here is the event, right here. Look at that. Yeah, I'm having a very hard time understanding what caused these. Of course, I have a hard time understanding what caused most events, because, I'm still a beginner at all this, but these are very peculiar, very odd. Let's take a look at the spectrogram real quick. Look at the dominant low frequencies below 5 Hz. You can tell these reach all the way to 20 Hz, but the power is very, very diminished. So the dominant frequencies are below 5 Hz, making this a low frequency earthquake swarm. This is. Look at that. Dominant frequencies below 5 Hz, dominant frequencies below 5 Hz, 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 and below 5 Hz once again. Let's zoom all the way out. Yeah, look at those. That is so weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly 10 of them in almost a perfect uniform rhythm. Look at that. Look at that. That is so flippin' weird. That is so weird, guys. Oh my god, look at that. So real quick, let's look at the other neighboring seismic stations. Here's seismic station MEM. You can see they appear here as well. Let's go forward a little bit. Now let's go back, turn on the spectrogram. Here, they don't really show dominant low frequencies. Could be because this is farther away from the epicenter than MLH is, but the frequencies have changed as they arrived at MEM. So, again, this event is very peculiar. Let's go to the next one real quick. MDR, EHC02. And here's this one as well. You can see they are showing the same event. Now, let's go to the spectrogram real quick. It is not showing any dominant low frequencies, but dominant high frequencies here at MDR. But you could tell from the waveforms, it does look like MDR is quite a distance away from these events. So, if anybody has an answer as to what the hell this is, because some stations show dominant low frequencies below 5 Hz and other stations show high frequencies. So, I'm really just scratching my head as to what this could be. And here we are at seismic station MCY at the same time period, 21-1930, which is where the other events started on the other seismographs. Now look, you could barely see them. You could tell they did show up though, but barely. Amplitude count, not even going over 50. So just barely felt it at all. So let's click out of these real quick and go to MCV. Obviously, MCV did show it as well. Look at that. Almost looks like there's a background tremor with that, but the background tremor did not show really on the other seismographs, so I'm not worried about that being any type of harmonic or volcanic tremor. Trust me. So, what could these be? What could these be, guys? Look at that. Look at that. I don't see any dominant low frequencies associated with this. So, I mean, on the few other seismic stations you saw dominant low frequencies, but on this one you don't. I mean, 10 in a row in a perfect rhythm at Long Valley Supervolcano. What could they be? I doubt it's anything that occurred on the surface, because it showed miles away, guys. Let's just go through these once again. Let's check the frequency range. And look at that, dominant frequencies below 5 Hz. Do you see that? Look at that. So we do see dominant frequencies below 5 Hz once again. So it seems MCS and MLH could have been closest to this event. But if the dominant low frequencies get filtered out the farther away it goes, usually that's an explosion. Because with quarry blasts, sometimes it does have, on the tail end, kind of in the middle of the event, kind of has dominant low frequencies. But when you look at distant stations, the dominant low frequencies are kind of filtered out. So these kind of look like possibly surface explosions, but why would that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. So what in the living hell could these be? And this is seismic station MCO, by the way. Let's go to the spectrogram real quick. Look at that. So if anybody has an explanation as to why these showed on pretty much all the surrounding seismic stations, and there were, once again, there were 10 of them. There were 10 of them in about 6 minutes or so. So there seems to have been, about 10 of these earthquakes within about 6 minutes. So their characteristics are very odd and are extremely rhythmic. The fact that they show on virtually all surrounding seismic stations proves to me that this was indeed an actual seismic event. But what the heck was going on? Maybe a little magma decided to have a little party? Who knows? Next, let's move on to the recent increase in seismicity at Yellowstone. Here we are at the reported seismicity for Yellowstone and the surrounding region for a little over the past 24 hours, a little bit longer than that time period. There has been an increase today, guys. Now, this is the time period I'm going to be showing for the quick seismic analysis in Swarm. Remember the rapid succession of events that have been occurring off and on at West Thumb Lake near Yellowstone Lake? Well, guys, it has happened again, though it was very short and in a diminished form. But I'll show you that in just a second. Sadly, they decided not to report the rapid fire sequence to USGS. But here you can see multiple 2s. Let's see, and especially a large magnitude 3.0 earthquake at 5.0 kilometers in depth up near Bozeman, Montana. I believe Bozeman is right about here or so. And then right before it, there's a 2.5, and then they reported, let's see here, these 2 right here are near West Thumb. I believe they are just to the west of West Thumb. So they're very close, and I'll show you these in just a second. There was a 1.2 at 5.5 kilometers and a 1.3 at 4.8 kilometers in depth, but they did not report the rapid fire succession earthquake swarm. Why wouldn't they do that? It is obvious it was an earthquake swarm. Very quick, very short one, but still. Why not report it? I don't know. I'm still confused on that. And there were also a few earthquakes up near Hebgen Lake. It was a magnitude 2.2, 9.4 kilometers in depth. And where was the other one? Where'd it go? Oh yeah, and a 2.0 at 6.5 kilometers in depth. So let's go take a look at the earthquake in Montana first. Alright, here's Short Period Seismic Station LCMM in the MB network, which I believe is closest to this event. Seismic Station BZMT is pretty much an equal distance away, but it's east of this earthquake. But for this one, I'm just picking LCCM. Alright, here's the Seismogram Spectrogram analysis of the 3.3 magnitude earthquake. Here it is, right there. It's a pretty good sized one. Had a pretty long coda and tail of an earthquake. Let's turn on the spectrogram real quick. You can see right here. It was definitely a high frequency tectonic earthquake. And let's keep going. Very long tail though. Very, very, very long tail. So I'm unsure what caused this, because it had a very long tail, guys. For a 3.3, that was pretty long. Now let's go up here just real quick. Here's the magnitude 2.5 earthquake that they reported a few hours before the 3.3. Here's the seismogram analysis image of the event. Let's zoom in on the P and S wave arrivals. So this was a pretty interesting earthquake here. It looked pretty deep, actually. And let's see. Yeah, it was probably only about a 2.5 or so. And again, had a very long tail end, which is very odd. So yeah, we do have an increase in seismicity, especially up in Montana. Now let's move on to analyzing some of the recent events that have been occurring at Yellowstone. I will start first with the rapid succession event that occurred last night at West Thumb Lake, and then I will move on to analyzing the rest of the reported earthquakes. So here's the seismic program waves, and let me see. We're going to be looking at the rapid succession event first. Here it is. 010340 to about 010620. So about 3 to 4 minutes long or so. And then we had another event here about 3 o'clock 40 to about 3:01:20. So those are the two rapid succession events we are going to look at in seismic program waves. Now when did it occur again? Let's see. That was, yeah, started about 1:03, and the other one down here started about 3. So let's go to waves real quick. So what was that? 103, 103. Where are you? 103, 103, 103. Right about there. Let's take a look real quick. Okay, here we go. Here is YLT right here. And here's the rapid succession event. You can blatantly tell. You can see it here, and see it here, and see it here as well in the surrounding seismic stations. Borehole 208. YDDHHZ, which is broadband vertical, that's why it looks so wavy, YLT, and YML. Now, you can clearly see the P wave shows first on YLT, meaning this is another rapid succession earthquake swarm at West Thumb Lake, which is pretty much the only type of earthquake swarms we ever see at West Thumb Lake, ever. And you can see it continued, guys. Let's see, there's 1, 2, let's go forward. I'm going to say there's 3. Go forward again. Let's see, there's 4, maybe 5. I don't know, is that a new event right there? I'm going to say 5. Let's keep going forward. Let's see, there's another increase in energy right here. So let's say 6. And some type of tremor or something. I don't know what that is. So I'm going to say about 7 events. About 7 events, and it looks like we have few other little teeny tiny, just probably negative magnitude events right here. So let's keep going forward. There's another event right here, so about 8 or so. And that's it for that. Okay, so let's zoom back out real quick. So for this rapid succession earthquake swarm right here, there were about 8 earthquakes or so. And the magnitudes weren't that great. I think the maximum amplitude count for this one right here was about 2,725. So they really weren't that big, guys. But still, they occurred in such close proximity to each other. It was almost constant. Now remember, the other one we saw was at 3. Let's go to 3 real quick. Go to 3, go to 3. Oh, too far. 3. There you are, buddy. Let's see which station this appeared closest to. Let's see, you can see it right there. Barely showed on borehole 208. Barely, didn't even show on YML. But it did show on YDD. And you can tell it did show a little bit on borehole 208. So here's this right here. There's one. Definitely showed on YLT first. So this is probably occurring in the same location as the rapid succession small swarm that I just showed just a second ago. And here's 2, and here's 3. Notice this one's smaller, this one's medium, and this one's big. It almost seemed like it increased for a second. That's very odd. So there are only 3 events right here. 3 events. And you could tell they did appear on the surrounding seismic stations. I doubt people can locate these because it's very hard to find a P wave for these because they're, number one, because they're so small. Number 2, they barely show on the surrounding stations. But they still do. They still showed on borehole 208 and YDD. So we know that these are truly real seismic events. Now let's go over to Swarm real quick. So here we are at seismic station YLT, which felt the rapid succession earthquake swarm the strongest. Let's look at the characteristics here. Very oddly shaped. Very oddly shaped. So here they are right here. Look at how many there are, guys. Do you see that? Do you see that? Look at that. There's a good amount. And not all of them look like earthquakes either. This definitely does not look tectonic. This does not look like anything that would happen at a fault. So I'm thinking some type of fluid. I'm thinking personally this was related to the West Thumb hydrothermal system. That is my theory for this one right here. Because if this was magma intrusion itself, magma itself, I'm pretty sure there would be larger earthquakes and they would also carry low frequency earthquakes as well. Kind of like what we saw in 2008-2009 Yellowstone Lake magma injection event. Let's go to the spectrogram real quick. You can see dominant mid-range frequencies. Some of them are a little bit below 5 Hz, but they also go above 5 Hz a little bit. So they can't really be categorized as low frequency, but I am thinking this is related to some type of hydrothermal fluid movement just below the surface. Just below the surface. So we will see what comes of this. Now real quick, let's look at this one real quick. The 3 earthquakes that we already saw. Now these look a little bit more like earthquakes to me, but still very odd. Look at that. Just very weird how West Thumb sees these rapid succession events. So we do have another rapid succession event at West Thumb, though it was tiny, but still we saw another one. The month of August, now July 5th, 2018 is when I first saw these rapid succession events. They have occurred prior to that. And I have looked at a lot of them over the past years, and it does seem like they are increasing. But we had a few of those events in July, and I believe we had 3 rapid succession events, rapid succession events, in August, a few of those in August. September, nothing. Nothing. Did not have any major swarms, or any swarms really at all in the month of September. But now it seems like seismicity could be increasing once again. Now let's go back to latest earthquakes. Real quick, you notice that there's a 1.3 and a 1.2. And let's zoom in just a little bit. You can tell it is just west of West Thumb. This is West Thumb Lake right here, guys. You want to see where the seismic stations are? Seismic station YLT is right about here. Seismic station YDD is right about here. And these are where the 2 earthquakes that I'm about to show occurred. I am thinking that the rapid succession event that I was just analyzing right here, I believe that this occurred right in this area somewhere, and it was very shallow. That's what I'm thinking. You can see these 2 earthquakes that they do have reported here, but they still have not reported the rapid succession event, which I just proved was not surface noise. So let's look 1.2 and 1.3. Now let's go look at them. Here are those 2 earthquakes right here. Here is the 1.2, I believe. This is the 1.2. Let's see real quick. That's not it. Whoops. Whoa. There we go. Let's go check that. Yep, that's reaching about 15 Hertz with dominant frequencies around, I'm going to say, 4 to 12 Hertz. About 4 to 12 Hertz were the dominant frequency ranges. But you can see it tops out at about 20, making this a high frequency earthquake. Still don't know what it was caused by, though. Let's go check out the magnitude 1.3 real quick. Very interesting. Very interesting because if you look at the spectrogram, let me zoom out a little bit. It almost looks like there's a secondary increase in energy right here. Do you see that? So maybe there were two earthquakes part of this one? I don't know. But this one, again, had dominant frequencies reaching all the way up to 15 hertz, making this a high-frequency volcano-tectonic earthquake. Here's YDD real quick. That is a teleseism. Man, these broadband stations really show teleseisms very strong. And that's not what I wanted to see. Let's see. I wanted to go look at the rest of the earthquakes. Let's zoom out. I just want to look at the earthquakes right now in Yellowstone that they reported. So a 2.0 and a 2.2 near Hebgen Lake. So we should probably use seismic station YMC and YHH to look over these. So let's go to YMC and we click out of YLT real quick. YMC and YHH. Here we go. Okay. So the 2.0 occurred at 1945 UTC on the 15th. So let's go to 1945 UTC, the one they reported, which would be this one right here. Let's check it out. Check out the frequency range. Oh yeah, high frequency volcano tectonic earthquake. And let's see, the other one that they reported occurred at 837 UTC. It was magnitude 2.2. So 837, that would be down here. Nope. Come on, go forward. There you go. That's this one, another high-frequency volcano tectonic earthquake. And here's the waveform of that event. Zoomed all the way in. Now, there were a few other tiny microquakes that, again, they did not report. We had one right there, another one right there, and a few other little teeny tiny ones all across the board. Here's another one right there. Now, okay, so I just showed the reported earthquakes and a few other earthquakes that have been occurring. So it does seem like there is an increase in seismicity. But I would like to look at this real quick, guys. Okay, so 1805. Let's real quick, before I jump to any conclusions, let's real quick go to a different tab and go to earthquakes.usgs.gov. One day all magnitudes. Let's zoom out. Since this was just recently, let's see, I'm really hoping I am wrong. I'm really hoping I am wrong. Okay, when did this occur? Let's see. 1805 UTC, so it's just recently. 1805, let's go down 1805. Oh, looks like Utah is having an earthquake swarm. That's weird. Speaking of 1805, what I was talking about is this odd rhythmic tremor, kind of, looks like a tremor, right here. You see that? You see that right there? I don't know what that is. This resembles harmonic tremor right there and has dominant frequencies below 5 hertz. Look at that. But I was originally thinking, no, I can't jump to conclusions. I must go check the data. So I'm thinking it could be a teleseism, but here's 1805 time period is right here. And we have an earthquake swarm in Utah. So let's go down a little bit. I do not see any major earthquakes that could account for this signal. We had one 5.0 pretty much at 1640. Oh, definitely not. It doesn't take 2 hours. I mean, sometimes teleseisms can take about 30 minutes or so to reach a seismic station from the epicenter of wherever it occurred, thousands of kilometers away. But when it's like 2 hours ago, no, it can't be. So we have no earthquakes, no large earthquakes in the world that can account for this right here. And it is showing on YHH as well. Let's look at YML real quick. Is it showing on YML? It is, just barely, but it is showing on YML also. The reason why I noticed this as well, let's open this real quick. Let's go LCCM. This is north of Yellowstone a little bit. And what the heck, guys? What the heck? That is showing stronger in Montana. So this is not a teleseism. This is not a teleseism. Look at that. Dominant frequencies below 5 hertz, showing on multiple surrounding stations? What? Let's see if it shows on here. 1804, 1805. Let's see. It does. Right there, 1805.30. It shows on here as well. What I'm going to do real quick, do a high pass enabled. Let's do 0.8. Okay, now it looks like a short period station. Yes, it shows on here as well. Oh my god. Okay, so I am freaking out just a little bit because this should not be seen at all. And we already looked at that. Borehole 208. Don't know if it shows it here as well. Yes, it shows it here as well on borehole 208. But the only thing, we have no large earthquakes in the world that could account for this. Because I was hoping it was a teleseism, but it's not, because there are no large earthquakes that can account for this. But let's go forward. But around this time frame, at 1805-10, and at 1804-44, and 1804-13, there was 3 earthquakes, a 2.9, 2.7, 1.6 in Utah. Okay. And any more in Utah? No, I'm not seeing any more for Utah. So let's real quick go down here. Down here. I don't know how it could show. But why don't you come with me real quick? Let's just real quick before, because I was almost done making this video. University of Utah. No, what the hell? Do I not have a bookmark? There we go. Okay, I need to find out the station that I need to gather data from. Come with me, guys. See how I download data and find data. Okay, if this will pop up. Come on, buddy boy. There we go. So what? Where did it occur? It occurred just south of Salt Lake City. So I am going to probably use... Nope. Nope. Can I please zoom in? I'm going to use this one right here. GMU short period. So GMU UU. Let's use the same time period. So let's do, so it's UU, GMU. I'm thinking it still has 01. Will it? Will it? Aha! Data retrieved. Downloading, downloading. Let's take a look at this, shall we? Now, this data I'm about to show you is very close to the epicenter of these earthquakes in Utah. So we are about to see if this tremor that I just saw in Montana and in Yellowstone is coming from Utah. We already confirmed it is not a teleseism, a global earthquake. We just confirmed that. But now we need to make sure that this is from Utah. Okay, let's take a look just real quick. Okay, what was it? At 1805, right? Oh, hello there. Okay. So that's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. What did they have it again? Let's see. The earthquake times for Utah were 1805-10, 04-44, 04-13. 04-13. So 413, 444, 510. Okay, so 04-14. So that's right about here. 04-44, right? So another earthquake occurred right about here. And then, what was it? Oh, that is weird. That is... What? Okay, it has dominant frequencies below 5 hertz. Are they thinking this is multiple earthquakes happening, or is this some type of tremor? Okay, that's it. You know what I'm going to do? The frequencies are freaking me out. So I am going to get the closest station possible. The closest station possible. South of Salt Lake City, right there. So I'm going to say right here. No, wait. Yeah, actually, right there. That's pretty much the exact spot. MPU, and it was a composite station. So let's go to UU, MPU, EHZ. Let's see if it works. No, it does not. Lovely. Lovely. Let's do BHZ. Maybe they have a BHZ channel. No, they do not. Let's try HHZ. Do they have an HHZ channel? There we go. They have a broadband station. Thank God. So, this is very peculiar. This right here. This is in Utah. Okay, let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something. This is the epicenter of the earthquakes, right? Right here. You're showing them right here. Do you want to see how far it traveled? All the way up here. Seismic station LCM is right here, guys. Look at that. Okay, here's Utah. Here's Yellowstone. Here's Montana. LCCM is right there. And the seismic station I just downloaded data from is right here. Do you know how far that is? Guys, that's like 600 miles. So if that's 600 miles, how can they explain this? Let me go back to LCCM. How the hell could they explain that it appeared over 600 miles away with a maximum amplitude count of around 1,000? How in the living hell is that possible? Look at this. Look at how long it lasts. With, again, dominant frequencies about 5 hertz and below. What the hell? Let's go to Spectra real quick. Log power off. And let's go to Spectra. About 3 hertz. Below 5 hertz. So what in the living hell? Okay, so I downloaded that last seismic station, right? Let's look at it just real quick. MPU. There you are, buddy boy. So we're going to go down, and now we are going to, let's see, what is it going to do? High pass enabled, 0.85 hertz and above. Okay, so this is very, very weird. These have a high frequency. Look at that. Look at that. These have a high frequency. So then, how in the living hell, just a few miles north at GMU, that has a low frequency? Look, this is very close. GMU is very close to this seismic station here, MPU. So how is it possible the frequencies were reduced that low? And then 600 miles north in Montana, they show it like this. Oh, whoops. They show it like this. Look. And it's almost at 1,000 amplitude count. How is that possible? How is that possible? Wow. Wow, guys. That is pretty crazy. So, something else. I do not believe that was tectonic. I'm not saying it's magma intrusion, guys. But to me, that is very, very peculiar that it could travel that far and have that type of frequency that far away. That, I don't know. It's just very weird. Before I make this video too long, I think we're done. We've been looking at a lot of stuff for a while, so. Oh, perfect timing, just as it's erupting. Awesome. So, that's it for seismic analysis. I still think a larger swarm could be approaching for Yellowstone. GPS deformation data is still pointing to a possible new sequence of uplift, but it is too early to tell just how crazy it'll be. Hydrothermal changes continue, and I believe Steamboat did just have its 23rd eruption just a couple days ago. It only needs to erupt 7 more times by the end of this year to beat the current record of 29 eruptions in 1 year, which occurred in 1964. Now, thank you for watching, guys. Again, if you missed my most recent video about the Yellowstone Caldera in Alaska and its harmonic tremor episodes, please go check that out. Also, please visit my website, https://monitorsize.weebly.com, if you have not done so already. Keep your eyes on Yellowstone and Long Valley, guys. If anything major changes, I will upload another video. But remember, these videos are not that quick for me to make, guys. It almost takes me a whole day to do just a 30-minute video. Pretty much. So, please have a great day, guys, and God bless. The truth is hate or fear to those who hate or fear the truth. Ben Ferraiuolo, signing off.